right, our final step. Well, I guess it's not really our final step, but it's close to our final step. We're going to take this background that we spent all this time making, because it took some time, and we're going to add it into Pivot. So now we can use this custom sweet background that we just made with a haunted house and whatnot. Here's my background. And we're going to add it into Pivot so I can add my character to this animation and make it look totally awesome. So the final steps, because we saved this in layers, okay, and we've got to convert it down now to something that Pivot can look at. It cannot look at a PDN file, which is what we saved it as, which is all these layers. So we're going to save it as a JPEG. File, Save As, and we're going to change this option right here at the bottom to JPEG, okay? And I'm saving it in our my classwork folder, okay? So whatever, you're going to save it to your computer and then your H drive, okay? That's really important. You save it there. And I'm going to just call this, I'm going to call this Haunted House BG for background, okay? And I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to say OK to this message. I'm going to leave it at 100% quality. And I'm going to say flatten. And you'll see all my layers flattened. But I already have it saved as a paint.net file. So if I ever need to go back and change something, I can open that paint.net file again, or I can hit Control-Z right now. And I can go back and make changes like, oh, I didn't color right here, so I'm going to fix that. Okay, enough of that. Pivot. Here's Pivot. All right, in Pivot now, we are going to go File, Load Background, and guess where I'm going to go? I'm going to go to my H drive. And I'm going to go to the place that I saved it, and I called it Haunted House BG. There it is, open. Would you like to set the animation to the dimensions of the image? Now, if it doesn't ask you that, it's because your pivot is already set to that size. If it does, we're going to say absolutely yes. And there you go. I now have a background. Now I'm going to just start working on my animation. I'm going to resize my character, by the way, so that he sort of fits the size of this. So I'm going to change him to 80 or maybe even 70. I'm not going to make him too much smaller because I don't like animating when the dots are too small. So, and he looks good. If he doesn't look good against your background, let's say your background is, you put a black sky or something like that, then you would want to change the color of your pivot figure so that he sticks out in a better way. So if I hit frame, 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 hit play, just take a look and see that your character has a good contrast to the background. And I would also suggest that you move your character over the house and see, like if it looks like he's kind of blend out on the screen, the contrast isn't so great. So you might want to play with that. I would suggest going with a darker or a lighter contrast. Like a white character is going to stick out pretty good. Maybe he's a ghost. Anyway, there you go. It's not too hard to get your background into Pivot. My suggestion is if you want to add custom backgrounds to Pivot, that you always save them and resize them in another program like Paint or Paint.net, and they all have the ability to resize. So there you go. I hope that was helpful, and now you can start animating an animation with your own custom background. Congratulations.